gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled. Dedicated to truth, justice, and peace for all mankind.
We're here. Okay. They're like, who's that guy? I'm DJ. BNC's bodyguard.
Hey guys, good morning. How are you? Hi, my name is Byron Pitts. I'm the co-anchor of Nightline at ABC News. I'm glad to be your moderator for this morning. Here's our format. These great folk are going to talk about the Black Panther for about 20 minutes, half hour or so, and then we'll open up for questions. You'll see the microphones in the aisle. And just for a housekeeping matter, my primary job here is to keeper of time. And so if anyone goes beyond asking the question, I'll ask you to land the plane quickly so we can get on with the questions, so we can keep it moving. Cool? All right, thank you. I'll introduce our panelists. They can show hands, but you all know who these people are. Okay, first let me give you an introduction about our panel. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created Black Panther 50 years ago in 1966, introducing the first black superhero to the Marvel age of comics. More than a superhero, though, the Black Panther was the king of the technologically advanced African nation of Wakanda, making him one of the most powerful players in the Marvel universe. The decade since, countless creators, some of whom sit here on stage with us this morning, have helped to build and shape the Panther's legacy across comics, television, and, in 2018, film. Our panelists this morning, Ta-Nehisi Coates, MacArthur Genius and National Book Award winner. Brian Stelfreeze, current Black Panther artist. Christopher Priest, legendary Black Panther. McGregor, legendary Black Panther. Marvel Editor-in-Chief. Carol McDaniels, member of Run DMC. James Iglehart, the genie from current Aladdin Broadway show.
Gotta rub the lamp to get him to come out.
Magic. And Aletha Martinez, an artist for the new series Black Panther World. No?
It's a C for him, man.
All right.
In spirit.
In spirit, she is here. All right, let's get started. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you all so much. First question, and whoever wants to take it, what drew you to Black Panther?
This man.
As a comic book fan, it was just fun to see someone, I know it's going to sound a little cliche, that looked like me. You know, I loved Spider-Man, I loved Captain America, I loved Wolverine, but when you saw Black Panther up there and the fact that he could stand toe-to-toe with these guys, and the fact that Iron Man had his suit, but you know, if he stepped up to Black Panther, he still had to fight. That's what drew me to him. Besides, he was just the coolest brother around, too. That album was dope.
What drew me to the Panther was, it was cool to see a black superhero that wasn't just a sidekick. And secondly, it was cool to see a black superhero that was king of a nation and also a black superhero who was just as smart as Bruce Wayne and Tony Stark. It wasn't like it was just this black superhero from the ghetto who happened to land in Africa and become crowned a king because he was from the hood. He had powerful, human, royal characteristics, and that was shocking for a little kid living in Hollis, Queens, New York, to see a superhero that was a leader.
When I first started doing the Black Panther in 1973, and believe me, this was pop culture and the media were not careful about how they treated diverse people. And they were doing reprint books on jungle action that were the most racist things in the world. And I really couldn't, I was the proofreader. When I first went there, I was proofreading these reprint books, and I said, I can't believe that you guys are printing this stuff in 1973. So later on, if you're on staff at Marvel, there's an unwritten rule. There's a lot of unwritten rules that you learn as you're going into battle every day in those halls. You understand that there are some writers that are going to go out and they will take, get rid of a book to get another writer stuck, a book that's lowering in his sales. So I was given the book and told later, they gave me the Black Panther because Jungle Books didn't sell. Joe Kubert had tried and done Tarzan for DC, and it died. And so they said, then we'll give it to Don, and we'll give him Killraven, because science fiction doesn't sell either. And then we'll tell him we have given him a chance, and he's failed. And thank God for you folks out there, because they didn't. You people wrote so much, and they got so pissed off that I was getting so much mail on these books. You know, and so it was like there was a justification for going through all of the fire that you had to go through. When they asked me to come back to the character in the 80s, I kept telling Michael Higgins, no, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to fight with you guys anymore. You know, when I finished up with Panther's Rage and did the stuff with the Klan, Marvel wasn't behind this. This was, we weren't getting any promotion. They wanted to, that was my death knell. It was like, once we put him up, the Panther on the cross, and my first line, and I still wanted to, I'm glad we got it in there, he's not a symbolic Christ figure. He's a human being. And I love doing Charlie because he had these powers, he had this grace, and he had this ability, and he's a leader. I think one of the things people love about him, he's a king, he can do any damn thing he wants, but he really wants to represent his people the best he possibly can. And that's what he tries to give the people time out, even when he fails.
Gentlemen, please all weigh in, if you would. Everyone weigh in, so.
Well, I'll say what attracted me to Black Panther as an artist is, and I've done everything. I've done Batman, Superman, Flash, just about every comic book character that you can imagine. But when I got the script to Black Panther, I realized this was going to be a job where I had to push the limits of my imagination. Really create something just whole cloth.
Black Panther was, riding with my superhero and calling me up and saying, "Do you want to write a comic book?" I mean, I was pretty much sold at that point. I was a comic book fan mostly in the period of my, coming up, late 80s, early 90s, and at that point, he didn't really have his own book, and so I had to go back and research. And then, two things I got immediately. I'm a real big character guy, and Panther was a superhero, and he was a king. And some would argue he's not even quite a superhero. He's more of a king or whatever. But the very fact that debate immediately exists was an immediate attraction for me, because I was like, okay, I got tension right there. I got dramatic tension. It wasn't enough. I mean, you can design a character with the coolest powers in the world, and the Panther is cool. It looks cooler than that suit, I'll tell you that. And, be a genius, athlete, all of these, superhuman, all of these things. But if you don't have something at the heart of it, there really, really isn't anything there. So once I had, that dramatic tension, that was it. And, that really is the work of people like Christopher, the creators that came before me. And then the second thing was this world, this separate place called Wakanda, which, John McGregor and Billy Graham had done this just beautiful, beautiful job.
Billy was beautiful.
He's incredible artist. He's done this beautiful job of sketching out this entirely different, almost plane of existence. And the opportunity to A, play with a character, with that sort of tension, at his heart right there, and B, venture off into this imaginary world where, just as a side note, all the people are black. Who could want more than that? That was it. I retired, leave my job, the Atlanta called me up, we got a problem now, you write Black Panther. So this was it. This was all I wanted, man.
White people would stumble in and try to steal vibranium, or then they sent them to America to be a Harlem school teacher. Like, what? He's the king of a foreign nation. What are you talking about? Why? And so, anyhow, when I did this, apparently, stay amazing. So now when we start doing the characters, and it's an all-black cast of characters, the first thing I'm told is don't put Killmonger back on the cover, because basically, and Rich Buckler just recently said this to me, they didn't want black villains on the cover. And so therefore, it was another year before I could actually put that character that he could appear on the cover again. And the only reason Rich Buckler was there is because he wanted to draw it. And then I got lucky. I was good pals with Billy Graham. Billy gave me, I used to stay up in Harlem at 143rd Street in Lenox. Billy always gave me a place to stay when I came to New York, along with Alex Simmons. They gave me so much grief over, where's the white people, Don? Where's the white people? I said, well, according to your mythology, they're somewhere in the outside world. And then they kept telling me they wanted the Avengers in there. Because I said, I don't want white people coming in. That was the Black Panther. The black guy doesn't need it.
Hey, Don?
Nobody wanted to be thought of as a racist. So yet at the same time, there were very much limits to what you could do. Having done the first interracial kiss in comics in Killraven, believe me, that was a big deal. And there's nothing I can do to please you people.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Aletha Martinez. You're with family this morning, so a question that we asked the panelists earlier, we'll ask you now. What drew you to this character?
Marvel did, yeah. No, actually, this is my second pass at it. When Marvel Knights first relaunched Black Panther, I worked with Mark Texier on that character, and that was a lot of fun. So coming back all these years later and seeing how much the universe has changed.
We're sort of a point where we're seeing a cultural change as comic books are becoming much more a part of the mainstream, and hip-hop is a part of that. Cultural diversity is a part of that. There's many more diverse artists and writers working, and I know Marvel's working harder than ever to make sure that we are represented in that regard.
Talk about Panther's significance in the here and now, right? With all that's going on in the world, Black Lives Matter, the things that we all see in social media and on television, that breaks all of our hearts. What does he mean in this space now, you think?
I was talking about the reactions in the offices to the books when I initially did them. But one of the things, as I was going, as you go through life and I was getting older, like when you have a man like Dwayne McDuffie, and his talent and his compassion as a human being to write a piece. I don't know if any of you have seen it. Dwayne wrote a piece on what those Panther's Rage books meant to him, because they had an all-black cast of characters, and they had all walks of life. And my feeling was, every character in the book, male or female, politician, technocrat, farmer, they're all Wakandan. And I know it meant so much to Dwayne, and that he would write the piece that he did about how those books changed his life. And and it's in the hardcover version. When I first read it, I had to buy the book. I had to buy the book. I was paying $12 a page to write it. I had to buy the book for $60. But Dwayne wrote a piece in the back there, and I hadn't read the whole thing. He had me in tears by the time it was finished, that he could think so highly of those books.
So what we're seeing now, largely as a result of your artistry and the industry that you work in, is that we're seeing this cross-cultural thing happening where hip hop is hip hop and it has no color, and where modern contemporary styles have no color. And now we're seeing younger generations who are not hung up on black or white or gay or straight or whatever like that. They just don't do that anymore, and that's why we're seeing. And now we're recognizing there's money to be had in it. So we're going to take this character and turn him black all of a sudden, and we're going to push this guy off a cliff, and the guy who replaces him happens to be a black woman or whatever the story is. But hopefully we'll move past some of these more result-oriented decisions and come out with characters that are just like Black Panther, who was constructed from the ground up to be a fundamentally unique character who happens to be black or happens to be African. But hopefully we're going to see a more resurgence of that, and I think that speaks to why we're seeing more and more diversity in the lineup.
The other thing is the world of comic books is not some separate galaxy cut off from the larger universe of entertainment and art. America has deep problems with racism, right? It stands to logic that would affect the entertainment industry also. So when I was a kid, you're looking for yourself on TV, you're looking for yourself in movies. You just really, really want to see it. Hip hop was really, the only place. I really wanted to see. I think there's something to that, to how MCs, sort of, make themselves into their own heroes. If you wanted to feel big, you listen to Run DMC or something like that. That's what you did. But I have to say, even with that said, maybe I'm singular in this, but second to that to me was comic books. I started reading when the first Civil War series is happening, and at that point in time, Iron Man was black, and I was like, Iron Man's black? That was the first thing I saw. I didn't start with Tony Stark. I started with James Rhodes. When I started, the leader of the X-Men was a black. I was like, really? This is actually happening? So for me, and I'm not trying to defend anybody here, right? You know what I mean? Because I think, what we're talking about, he's really, really bad and just kind of bad. Right? Kind of bad wasn't thing. There was nowhere to see, black heroes, when I was a kid. Except comic books. We can get into all sorts of debates about, Luke Cage's depiction over time historically. There was no Luke Cage on TV for me. There was no Luke Cage. This is just at the beginning of, say, Denzel Washington's career. We first beginning to see, sort of bad black dudes like that. But there really, really was nowhere to go. So for me, and maybe I was like a deprived child. But comic was like a refuge act. It was actually where I went. I said, okay, I can kind of see, something of myself. The sort of complexity that Chris Claremont gave Storm after she lost her powers, for instance. I don't see that. I wouldn't go nowhere to see that. You know what I mean? So I think, the context of it is really, really, important. That is not, to contradict anything that anybody has said on this panel at all, but I have to say part of my attraction, to Marvel Comics was there was at least some representation. There was, an entryway to come in.
But there are other people that having that role model is the key that they need to actually go for it. And I think now that all of us are showing up on the internet, people have those role models. And they're going, well, look, that guy's doing it, that woman's doing it, I'm gonna do it.
Being on Broadway, I find that it's an escapism for fans. So there's crazy things happening in the world, but you can go into a theater and escape it for about 2 hours. There are crazy things happening in the world, and you can go up to, since it's right around the corner from me, I can go up to Midtown Comics and pick up a comics and just I'm not going to watch the news. I'm just going to focus on what is happening in the Marvel Universe, and everything is perfect here, even though the world's about to end. It's fine. I know they'll fix it by the last page, and sometimes when you get that escapism, it's like when you look on the news and you see things happening to brothers and sisters or females. You look at the presidential election and people talking about fat shaming and all that kind of stuff. But you look at the comic books and you see someone who looks like you, and this person is fighting the system and winning. There's a part of you that says, even though the system in real life is bad, maybe if I model myself after this person, it'll get better. So when you see Black Panther step up to situations, you go, all right, cool. Now, tomorrow, I know I'm not gonna slap a cop, but I'm gonna walk like Black Panther and not get in a situation and speak like a Wakandan king. And he goes, where are you going? I am going to my job, sir. That's what I'm doing. You know, it's an escapism, and that escapism kind of gives you the power in your real life to do something different. I remember there was this little African-American round kid who came to see Aladdin, and he had never seen the genie in Disney's Aladdin. He had never seen the white guy play. He saw me, and he was like, I could be a genie. And I was like, damn, I never thought of it like that. There are kids going to the Marvel films who they see Black Panther and, you know, Civil War, and you go, when I go to Toys R Us and you see those Black Panther outfits for Halloween, you go, there's some kids who are going to dress up like Black Panther. My mama had to make me a Black Panther costume. You can buy one now. So I think it's an escapism that kind of helps you go, I can deal with it. I just need a place to go for just a minute, just to get away from the craziness.
That's a thing, kind of playing with and I thought of this, I was like, okay, well this seems really cool, and that makes me feel bad. About the same degree of royalty. But like, what's strange is like, I thought of this and I went, yeah, this would be cool. But then I thought, oh man, Marvel would never let me do this, and I didn't want to just jump in and do it, you know, because the character existed before us. So I called Will, my editor, and I said, hey man, can I do this? And he was just like, let me talk to Axel. And what's really cool is he called up Axel, and Axel was just like, yeah, go for it. So it was like, it was really kind of neat to make that decision and have Marvel back me up on it, you know. And so now that's kind of part of the character. I'm hoping that it gets to a point where it's just called sci-fi, you know, where it's not called black sci-fi.
And I think, just really quickly, just to piggyback on what Brian said, that actually reflects like how you the actual process of creation. I don't want to say we ever forget that T'Challa's black, we don't, but like that will only get you so far. Like once you actually, like at some point you have to accept, oh, this is a human being and I gotta get this figured out. So if we could actually get to the point where it's labeled that way, that would more mirror the actual creative process of what happens. You know, you're still writing them just like it's any other character with any other motivations.